Hello guys, welcome to my channel. We are today testing the Norvina Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I'm going to do a review, tell you what I think of everything, and we're going to do kind of a how-to, very slow, basic, how to apply everything for people that are just starting out and want a few more tips. So I think we'll get straight into the video. We're going to start with the shade Love on a big fluffy brush. This is a 228 Luxe Crease brush by Zoeva, and we're going to go into that Love shade. When you go into an eyeshadow, I want you to press into it and then always tap the excess off, otherwise you're going to end up with patchy eyeshadow. I've also primed my eyes with an eye primer. I used the Louise base for this in the shade Rumour 02. This stuff is the one, I'm telling you. Alright, we're going into that shade Love, and I want to outline my crease basically. Now your crease is here, the bit that surrounds your eyelid, so you want to go on there with a light, fairly light colour to use as a transition shade. Now when I say transition, I mean something that all of the colours are going to nicely blend into. It's kind of like a base, so that it's not like, whoa, there's a big deep purple straight in there. You know, you want to kind of ease into it a little bit. So I'm going to put that on the crease, but then I'm going to spread it around the whole eye pretty much, just focusing it on this crease part though. Just like that, so it's a blown out effect. And what I'm noticing straight away is this palette is extremely dusty. Have a look at that. I mean, that is a little cray, but we can deal with it. You only need a little bit of eyeshadow for it to be pigmented, so it looks very pigmented so far. Just blowing that out again, and you want to be holding the brush like this straight onto it. You don't want to be down here or up here, because that's going to push the crease colour into a different direction. We want it focused here. Now it depends on the shape of your eye, but I usually like to come out here, so you're following the direction of where your eyebrow ends here, and you're making a sort of angle. Now some people like to have a more rounded eye, so you could maybe come up a little bit more up here, but I prefer to make them look a little bit bigger and a little bit more cat-eye-ish, if that's the word. So now I'm going to just deepen it up a little bit more with another fluffy brush. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH34, so it's a little bit more pointed than the one I was just using, and that's because we want to focus even more on this crease bit now, because we're not going to blow it all out this time. We're going to focus it more on the crease, and I'm going to use the colour, I can't even see the colours, it's that dusty. I'm going to go for the colour Passion, which is this one here. Tapping the excess off again and focusing that very lightly. You don't want to go too hard with such a dark colour. And as you can see, windscreen wiper motions, back and forth, and then tiny little circles like this. And that's how you blend out a shadow. Little circles and windscreen wiper. Don't worry if you're getting anything on the lid right now, because we're going to cover that up later. And the key with any eyeshadow palette is to blend, blend, blend. You might think, oh, that's done. But if you want a good makeup look, you need to blend and blend and blend, so everything looks very seamless. So you can see here, I've blended and I've took my time, I've been patient with it, and it's starting to look quite blended. We have a tiny bit of fallout I've just had to wipe off, but nothing too crazy, so that's a good thing. Now I want to go back in with the first brush we started with, and this is just to blow it out slightly, so just above that crease, just to blend everything in. And if you want to, you can go back in with that first shade if it's not blending too well. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is go back in with my eye primer, And what we're going to do is put it over just the lid. We're not going to touch the crease. We're going to just stay here. And we're going to cover the lid so it's a clean slate again, except for this crease part here. And I'm going to use a flat brush. This is a Zoeva Luxe Smoky shader, number 234. And as you can see, it's very flat. Squirt a little bit on there, like that. Not a lot at all. Hang on. Just like that. And then you're going to very, very gently carve out the crease. You can also use concealer. You don't have to use an eye primer. And don't go too wide with this crease because we want to blend shadows back into the end of the crease. Now this takes practice and a lot of patience. You can just go slightly higher above here to make your crease look bigger, and this is especially good for people that have hooded eyes because it makes you look like people can see your eyelid when your eyes open, when usually this part would be kind of covering it. So it's kind of a little trick to trick people into thinking you don't have hooded eyes. And another tip is if you have extra small eyes, you want to use a smaller flat brush. So this is probably on the medium to large size for your eyelid. But yeah, go for the little tiny one if you want to be more precise or if you have smaller eyes. I like to just do a bigger one because I feel like it gets it on quicker. So as you can see, the eye primer is on. And the next thing you want to do is go for a shimmer on the eyelid. Now we've got some amazing shimmers in this palette. I can't even choose. I think we'll go with the rose gold, this one right here. I think we can get away with the same flat brush. It's a bit naughty, but we're going to wet the brush. We're going to wet the brush. Now I've not got much left. And then we're going to dip into the rose gold. Now don't worry that it's wet. I used to think, oh my god, putting a wet brush into a shadow is that not going to ruin it? But as long as it's a shimmer, you're okay. So dipping into that rose gold, both sides, tapping the excess, and we're going straight over the eye primer. And the key is with this to pack it on really gently, but don't give it enough time to fall out all on your face. You don't want to be wiping or swiping, just pack it on very gently and firmly. So as you can see at the moment, it's looking very liney, it's not looking blended at all, and we need to do something around here to blend the colours together. Now this is the tricky part. You want to go with a brush like this one from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe collection. This is a JH36. It's got more of a stiff top there, and it's more of a buffing brush rather than a fluffy brush. So you can push product into the eye, into the eyelid, and it'll blend hopefully. So we're going to go for the colour Volatile here, and that's just going to be put right at the end of the shimmer there, just to blend it nicely out. I'm pressing in like so. I'm not smearing it everywhere, just lightly pressing. And then you want a fluffy brush just to blend that very gently out. I'm going to push that product out a little bit more. I then want to go in with a pencil brush. Now you can use any pencil brush. This is the JH40, and I'm going to go back into that passion colour that we used for the crease, and we want a more concentrated version of this colour now, right on the outer V of your eye, pressing it in, making a V. And then back to your blending. So you go back in with a fluffy brush and blend out. We don't want to blow this colour out everywhere like we did with the first colour though. We want to try and keep it in that V shape. I'm getting quite a bit of fallout, if you can see here. Okay, we're going to go back in with my flat brush that I used earlier to put the shimmer colour on. And I'm going to go for Wild Child, which is this one here. Wet the brush again. And we're going to place the shimmer in the middle, just in the middle, to brighten the colours up a little. Scratch that, we're going to put it all over the lid because it brightens it up quite nicely. Just where that other shimmer was. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It gives us more of a brighter shimmer. Because we've put a shimmer on now again, we must go back in with the darker colours, the mattes, to blend the shimmer in. You don't want to leave a shimmer like this with a big line here. Back in with that passion colour. I'm actually finding, I don't know if you probably won't be able to see this, but it is breaking up here, the shimmers. Just there. It's kind of showing little tiny bits of my real skin underneath, which is not good. I'm not sure if I've wet my brush too much. It might just be that. I'm going to have to go back in with that Wild Child and fill that in. And then this is the point where you just want to clean everything up. So you want to go in with either a clean fluffy brush or the first brush that you used and just make sure that everything's looking nice and clean. And a good trick at this point is just to clean up the edges here with a baby wipe. So I've got nails on, so I like to use my nails in the baby wipe and drag it very gently up to the end of the eyebrow or just past it. And that just cleans it up. You've just got to practice at getting each side even. And that looks a lot cleaner. I've taken the makeup off down here though, so now I just need to gently cover it a little bit with some concealer. For the underneath, I'm going to use a pencil brush. This is a Morphe E18. I'm going to go in with the shade Love, the first shade that we used. For the under eye, be careful, it's very dusty, this shade. Just tapping motions. And then I'm going in with a really small flat brush. This is a JH42 from Jaclyn Hill. And we're going to go back in with Rose Gold. And we're going to put that just underneath in the centre of the lid. I've just wet my brush because it wasn't showing up. And then with the same brush, we're just going to go into Wild Child, the brighter shimmer that we put on earlier, for a little bit closer to the corner of the eye. And then with another clean pencil brush, just going back into that Passion, the darkest colour of the palette, and right at the edges here, seal the deal. I'm then going to put some liquid eyeliner on. My favourite liquid eyeliner of all time is the Revlon Colorstay. And I'm going to put that on very close to the lash line. If you want a full tutorial on how to apply winged eyeliner, then let me know in the comments below. Okay, so I'm having an absolute nightmare with my eyeliner. This never lets me down, but I'm trying to draw over the shimmers and it's just kind of ignoring me. So I'm gonna have to keep trying, but I don't think that's a good thing for a shimmer, to block out the eyeliner. Alright, we got there in the end. That was an absolute nightmare. We just had to keep going over and over and over the eyeliner and we finally got there. I'm going to apply some mascara now. Favourite mascara, BootsMaxFactor Lash Effect. My camera just stopped then, but basically I've just put some mascara on my Russian lashes, which are just individual eyelash extensions. Just to finish the look off, I'm going to use a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH41 flat brush. Oops, a bit of eyeliner on my hand then. And we're going to go in with the colour Base down here, just to put on the brow bone. So right up here, just a touch And what this does is it brings the colour of your eyeshadow down a little bit, because I never like it fully up to my eyebrow. So by putting a paler colour at the top here, it's going to bring the darker colour down, and then you just need a fluffy brush just to make sure that's blended. Basically you need infinite amounts of fluffy brushes because they're great tools and they blend everything really nicely. I'm just going to set my brows in case there's any eyeshadow particles in there. And I'm using the 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. I just want to brighten my eyes up with my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is the banana-y colour in the middle, and this one right next to it. I'm just going to mix those together and put them under the eye just to brighten the eye up. And guys, this is the finished look. So I really like this eyeshadow palette. I think the shimmers are great. I think you should not wet your brush too much with them. They're a little bit chunky. As you can see, very dusty. I've blown the dust off this a couple of times and it still looks like that. But I think Norvina did a good job. This is Anastasia's daughter, I believe. I like the look I've done today. I think it's really cute. And if you like this tutorial, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more. Comment down below, let me know what you think, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And I will see you soon. Bye.